Hey, Coach, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. We can see you. We're ready to go.
Okay. All right. So I don't have any injuries to tell you. I mean, we didn't have any yesterday. So the guys are just coming in now. So listen, I would tell you basically the same thing that mentioned to you yesterday after the game. We had too many mistakes and didn't give ourselves the opportunity that we needed to win. And I always start with myself. I mean, I could have definitely put the guys in a better position than I did. And I think after talking to our players, and you got the same feeling from them that they took responsibility where needed, and that's kind of where we're at. And I think it's important that part took place. But we all had a piece of this, and we need to take care of business and fix the issues. So and clean it up, and that's what we'll start doing here tomorrow when the players come in. Anyways, with that, time, yours.
Well, first, Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy. With regard to the Chris Jones penalty, do you have a better idea of exactly what he said or did and whether that penalty under those circumstances was justified? And Brad, I'll have a second question as well.
Yeah, so the officials will file a report with the league. From what I understand, we don't necessarily get that report. We get a different report on the but that one there, we don't. That's not one that they give to us. So we'll talk to the league once that's been turned in and go from there. But and see what information we can get. I know talking takes place during games, so it was a bit what I mentioned yesterday, that there were two guys doing the talking, and we got called. So the best advice I can give is don't talk, right? And I think Chris mentioned that yesterday too. So, but I can't tell you exactly what was said until I see that report or see what they say.
Okay. And assuming for a minute that Butker is not ready to kick on Sunday in Tampa, will you have a different kicker other than Amendola on Sunday night?
I can't tell you that right now. That's Brett's mulling through all that and working through it right now.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Andy, I'm just wondering if you could assess your run game and what's been stagnant there.
Yeah, so again, I can help out with the different calls. We have a variety of runs, so I can definitely help out with that. We can do a better job with our front guys. They take great pride and responsibility for that run game. So we could do a better job there, and the running backs do the same. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of pride that goes into that run game and being positive with it, and then also giving them more opportunities if needed to do it. So that's that's kind of what we're hashing through. So
let's go next to Mick Schaefer. Go ahead, Mick.
Hey, Coach, I'm wondering, the Chargers also struggled yesterday after that Thursday night game. There have been some other teams over the years, that back end of the Thursday night games. Is there anything inherent to that, to where you have the rush of those two games and then maybe a letdown over that longer layoff that could lead to poorer performances, I guess, after the Thursday night games?
Yeah, Mick, I wasn't anticipating that. This one was a different one. We started off with some kind of crazy situations that took place, and so we've got to learn to grow from this, from some of the things that took place here, and whether it's young players or old players, we've got to grow and use it as a learning experience here for us. But I haven't correlated that with coming off the Thursday games. I do know what happened yesterday, though.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon. Understanding that the offensive play calling is collaborative. I know that we have known that for a while. I was wondering if you could elaborate on, when it is you, when it is EB, just how you goes into that decision, whatever you'd be willing to share in that sense.
Yeah, so really everybody has their area that they contribute to, and we go through and stack the plays and work it from there without giving too much there. But so we have a pretty good idea what order we're going in. Then we just talk through it. I mean, EB and I talk through it. Nags does this year, like Mike did last year. Joe Blameyer's part of it. Everybody kind of has their part that we talk through and make sure that we're seeing things right. But listen, inevitably, it's my responsibility to make sure that the right things get in at the right time. So, and that comes strictly onto me, that part. But I thought our guys, the communication was very well and good yesterday, and EB was great with the quarterback on the headset and getting things in and that. But we got to get the guys into a rhythm, and I didn't think that took place yesterday. It was spurty at best, and you can't, that you don't want that.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon. Yesterday after the game, Skyy Moore admitted after the muff punt, on the second punt that he let hit the ground, he admitted that it was somewhat lingered in the back of his mind. How do you go about rebuilding his confidence, and what did you say to him, or what did Coach Tope say to him during the game to rebuild it?
Yeah. So Skyy's a competitive kid, and he's young. And so some of the things that happened yesterday happened with some young guys, and you've got to, I've said that from the get-go, you're going to have a hiccup here or there. And you hope it doesn't happen, and you practice it doesn't happen, but sometimes it happens. And then it's, the young kids have got to grow, and you got to get back on the horse, Herbie, and to learn. And he did that. He got back on and did a couple good things in there. So, but he'll be better for it down the road.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, I know the football's an emotional game, right? And competitive, and guys get worked up, and Eric gets worked up. We've seen Travis Kelce and him hugging on the sidelines and then getting after each other. But when it's the quarterback, is it different when, the competition boils over like we saw there at the end of the first half? And how uncharacteristic? I mean, seemingly Patrick has never had a misstep of any kind. Out of all the questions he's answered, he always seems to be calm and cool. Is this the first time you've seen him be that agitated?
No, I don't think the camera probably showed the reality. It was EB was just communicating, saying, listen, we'll get it the second half here. That's what we were thinking. He was explaining the situation to him. So Patrick, and this is what makes him great, is he wants to rip your heart out on every play and every opportunity he gets. So, he had taken a pretty good lick the play before, and so my decision was to do that. It wasn't EB. EB was just the calming effect there, and but sometimes things look different. I mean, it's an emotional game. I mean, it's an emotional game. I wouldn't want it any other way. That's what makes it great, and so that's why we all love Pat. He wants to play. There are guys that'll shy away from that right there and say, hey, let's just take it in and go the other direction. He wants to get in there and go. But that's where I come in. I've got to make sure that I do what I think is best. And Pat explained it, I thought, very well yesterday. And let's not change Pat Mahomes, man. Let's not change that, or EB for that matter. Let's not change that. Those are two great men right there.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned this a bit earlier, but what's it say about your locker room that after a tough loss, when it'd be really easy to shift blame, all the guys are putting blame on themselves and not pointing fingers and taking responsibility for what happened? What's that say about your locker room, and how does it help you move forward?
Yeah, listen, I like the locker room. I've told you that since training camp, right? It's a good bunch, Matt, and all you guys have seen it. You've been around it and seen it. That are on this call. So it's something that you're gonna have highs and lows in the game, and now we've got a low here. Losing in the National Football League is a tough thing. So how are we going to handle it? And that's a good start when you can admit a problem. Now the next thing is you got to fix the problem, and then get ourselves ready to go play Tampa Bay, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to start that tomorrow, and let's get better. And so that's our approach.
Got time for a couple more. We'll go Matt and then Aaron. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, for rookie receivers like Skyy, I get that every player is different and every situation is different. But where offensively is kind of his development and comfort right now? And what do you want to see and need to see from him for him to get some more opportunities?
Yeah, so we actually had some in for him this game, and it didn't work out that way. We didn't have a ton of first and second down calls, and that we've got to do better with. And so his number didn't get dialed up as much as we wanted. When it did, the defense didn't play it the way where he would be open. So. But it'll come. I mean, we're into game 3 here now, so or through game 3. So it's, his time will come. We'll keep working on it.
We'll go last to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Coach, appreciate the time here. Kind of bouncing off what Pete was asking about the offensive collaboration and kind of the process there. I heard you say, hey, I made the call going into halftime that we were just going to run the ball and get out of there. You talked in the past about numbers and the numbers guys being on the headset as well in analytics. How do you make the decision between this is what the numbers say and no, I'm just going to bail out and go with my gut? Is it just Pat getting hit or what kind of makes the decision there?
Yeah, it was what I saw. And so what I felt. I mean, normally that's not, again, the direction that you go, but that's the direction I chose to go this time.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you.